Good day and welcome to today's edition of the Sport Rev Show. I'm your host, Limba Mupetami. Now, without wasting any time, let's head over to the game changer of today's show. Now, in today's segment of Game Changer, we will have Athletes World. And this is where we caught up with Axel Theissen. He's, of course, the Namibia Cycling Federation's president. And today he talks to us about how he got into cycling, as well as the new Cymot Building that is being established, that is a Grove Mall. Now, just sit back, relax, and enjoy this interview.
Okay, well, for this episode, we are joined by none other than Axel Theissen, the president of the Namibian Cycling Federation. Well, before we do, I do get to introduce him. Last year, we were supposed to have him on season 1, and I was 15 minutes late to the interview. And Axel just picked up the phone and Axel said, I remember your words were, you know what, it's fine, just turn around. I'm not angry. I just work with time and we'll do this some other time, maybe in September. Mind you, this was in June and he said maybe in September. But I'm so glad we get to have him on this season 2 on our 3rd episode for this show. So Axel Theissen, how are you doing today?
Brian, welcome. Nice that we've a few months later finally connected, and welcome to this session with the beautiful. We've had the first rains in Namibia by now, so it's a special episode, hopefully, which you will broadcast very soon.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm loving it here. The view is amazing. I'm sure you don't get tired of this view, but Axel Theissen, let's get right into it. Let's not waste any more time. As we all know, you are the president of the Namibian Cycling Federation. Yeah, just let us know, when did you get into cycling? And yeah, apart from you being the president, how did cycling become a thing for you?
It actually goes back many, many years. As you would possibly know, cycling is about, or Windhoek Pedal Power as the first club is about 38, 39 years old this year. And my dad, Klaus Theissen, actually is the father of cycling in Namibia. He started Windhoek Pedal Power, he together with Arto Kuppe at that time. Arto Kuppe is no more, he passed away a few years ago. But the two of them started Windhoek Pedal Power, and then my dad also started the federation. So for me, when I was asked whether I would join the federation, and together with my career in Cymot, and I was knowing that I would be stepping back and taking it a bit easier, I thought, why not dedicate the time? Giving a financial contribution is easy, but giving a time contribution as an executive is a lot more difficult. So to answer your question, I've been involved with cycling since a very early age, like 14 years of age.
Sure.
And with the Nedbank Cycle Challenge, the biggest ride under the sun, emanating next, or this coming weekend here. I've got my certificate here of many years ago, exactly 35 years ago, where I finished 8th in the what is now the Nedbank Cycle Challenge overall, 4th in my age cat and 8th overall.
Sure.
So I've been cycling for many, many, many years.
Okay. Can you speak about your biggest achievement in cycling? I want to get straight to the point, because we're speaking behind the camera and you were talking about how you got into cycling at a young age, like you just said. And yeah, just speaking of your biggest achievements in cycling, can you mention a few off the top of your head?
One of the most favorite events is definitely the Cape Town Cycle Tour. I studied in Cape Town. I've been living in Cape Town for 5 years. I've done 27 Cape Town cycle tours, more than half of my age. And not many people can do so. And I think together with George Thiele, George and myself are leading the ranking in terms of the Namibians that have competed in the most Cape Town cycle tours.
Yeah.
But the biggest advantage goes back again also 35 years ago. This is the medal with the Namibian Cycling Federation when I was 18 and I won the junior national title, road title, exactly almost to the month 35 years ago.
That's in
so have this
1989.
Wonderful relic. And this, I've obviously kept it. It means a lot to me. I was a national champion when I was under 18.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to give back in time to the future, to the kids of Namibia that see this medal as well and say, I want to be the national champ as well in my age group.
Yeah.
And represent Namibia ultimately, which is the biggest accolade for any athletes to be able to represent Namibia internationally.
Okay, this carries so much value, because I mean you've kept this since 1989. How old was I then? I think maybe.
Oops.
Yeah, no, let's not talk about that. But yeah, I will be taking part in the Nedbank Cycle Challenge, actually.
That's great
I'm
to
doing
hear.
the 30 kilometers. Michelle somehow forced me into doing it, and yeah, but I'm not complaining.
You
I'm
will
really
not regret
excited.
it.
So I'll just be doing 30Ks. So for me, that's taking part in it on Sunday. Word of advice from a great. How should I go about it? I haven't cycled probably like in the last 10 years, maybe. Last time I got on a bike I was maybe 14.
Get your bike ready. That's first and foremost. Without
Okay.
the proper bike, you will not finish the 30 kilometers. And otherwise, the biggest advice is just enjoy it.
Okay.
Go out there. It's the biggest ride, and especially the 20 and the 30 kilometer routes are basically a fun ride category.
Okay.
There's race categorization, but it's for the greater masses. So it's great that you're joining us on Sunday.
I will be there on Sunday.
I'll most
I will
probably be
there
doing
on
the
Sunday.
100 kilometers.
Okay, now that's a
either
bit-
the 60 or the 100, but we'll see en route.
That's a bit much for me. I'll start with the 30, and then we can gradually talk about 50 and 100 and stuff.
But
yeah,
start off slowly and just
Okay.
don't reach for the stars immediately.
Okay,
the
now-
30 kilometers is perfect.
perfect. Okay, then I'll start off with the 30. Okay, Axel, one thing I wanted to talk to you about was cycling in Namibia. As in a whole, based off where you started and where it is now, how do you think cycling has grown? How do you take on the growth of cycling in Namibia?
I must give accolades to the committees that were there before, and I know them most by name. But the previous president that served for many, many years is Rolf Adrian, Vera Loza's dad. And they put a lot of passion and energy into the federation. Nick Duplessis is currently the person heading up the race portfolio, and he's been with the federation for 8 years. I've now led the federation for close to 4 years. And I think my biggest aim has always been to put structure into an organization where a group of volunteers are sitting together all at their own free time and defining a collective picture. And you can actually run it like a company. A federation also has to have a vision statement, a mission statement, know what you're doing, know exactly who your stakeholders are. And with that structure, we can build up, and cycling has grown. Most probably we are one of the best run sports codes in Namibia. And any sport without sponsors is not getting anywhere. So we need to attract the big corporates to continue sponsoring cycling. And cycling is also one of the very few sport codes that has participated in each and every Olympic Games for the last 30 years and representing Namibia proudly. So these are our big targets which we want to achieve. And then the other big personal target for me is to lay the foundation for our junior riders to see that they can perform and give them a career path in cycling where, together with our national coach, Hans Tutoy, who's doing brilliant work, and everybody else, there are so many people involved in coaching in Namibia, it's unbelievable. And all of them do it basically on their own free will and for the love of the sport. But Namibia has for the first time now qualified for the Youth Olympic Games. That's the Olympic Games for the under 18s, under 16 and under 18s, and that's something which we've never had. So for the first time in 2 years' time, we'll be sending under 18 athletes to an Olympic Games so that they get accustomed to what that huge international exposure is. Because racing overseas and racing at a World Cup is just a different kettle of fish. There's so much noise, so much planning, so much happening that you need to witness it to understand it.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay, apart from, we spoke to Alex Miller. He was the first guest on the episode. A wonderful cyclist / mountain biker, fair loser, same caliber, really good cyclist. But my question is, for you to maintain such effectiveness, for you to be effective in the cycling industry for so long, what does it take for, let's say, a normal cyclist? What do you have to do on a daily to make sure that you stay at the highest level as soon as possible?
Vera and Alex are obviously our sports stars. Vera that won the Sports Star of the Year award for NASA for the Namibia Sports, or from the Sports Federation, Sports Commission, correction. They are semi-professionals or professional athletes. So to compete at that level, you basically almost have to be a professional cyclist, which nobody of us resident in Namibia can really do. Alex is really a star at his young age. He's really performed exceptionally well. represented us at the Olympic Games, finished the mountain bike track in the Olympics, which on that statue as alone is magnificent. But we've had the Mark Bessingswade as well, Tristan De Lange that represented Namibia internationally.
Yeah.
So no, it comes with a lot of training. The mental training is equally important in cycling, not just the physical training, because they race it all out on the international circuit, and something like the Upside Cape Epic that's taking place very soon in South Africa. That's one. It's the Tour de France in mountain biking. It's most probably one of the most grueling sporting events, especially on the cycling front on the planet.
Wow.
And to have our athletes, and there's, apart from Vera and Alex, there's other more novice Namibian riders taking place at the Cape Epic. It's something which I've never done, but it's a bit too long for me. But I've done other epics, Swiss Epic twice, Croatia Epic this year. So I do want to participate internationally as well, but more in the hobby, more in my age group.
Okay.
Not weight group, age group.
Okay, we will definitely be continuing this conversation and talk more about how Axel Theissen lives his daily life, and then we just find out more about his side of Cymot. But with that being said, do definitely stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Your life could change at any second, but you'll never know until you take the chance. With sports betting, number games, and online casino gambling, JSB is your best bet. Will you be Namibia's next instant millionaire? Place your bets easily online at jsbsports.bet or at any JSB location nationwide. We'll take you to the action anywhere, anytime. JSB, where the next instant millionaires come to play. Strictly no under 18s. JSB supports responsible gambling. Winners know when to stop.
Well, and just like that, we are back for the last part of this interview. Axel Theissen having a great time here at your place. Let's get right into it. You know, when first time I met you as the Namibian Cycling Federation president, without knowing that Axel Theissen is more than involved in Cymot. Can you tell us more about your career and your path with Cymot as well?
Having returned back from Europe many years ago, and after my studies in Cape Town, I started in January 97.
1997.
So exactly 27 years ago on the 27th of January, so I can easily remember that.
Wow, okay.
And worked my way up through the organization. For the last 20 years, I've been first managing director, then chief executive officer, CEO. And then for strategic reasons and other personal reasons, I decided to hand over the CEO responsibility to my successor. And currently I'm serving as the executive chairperson of the Cymot Group. There are more companies under Cymot now, but Cymot is the most well known.
Yeah. Okay, well, I know you as a person who is very organized. You work by the number, to the T, this time, that time, this goes in this time. How do you manage all of it? How do you manage Cymot work? How do you manage Cycling Federation? How do you squeeze in time to get on the bike and all of that?
It's a good question. At times it gets very, very tricky.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with WhatsApp nowadays, people expect an answer immediately. And there are certain times of the day where you just don't get to it. It's physically impossible. And I'm an early riser. I swim a lot apart from cycling. I do swim a lot to keep fit.
Okay.
So you will see me at 5:15 in the swimming pool if you know where I'm training. And then in the evenings, there's quite a few Friday evenings where the battery is pretty empty. And then you're looking forward to a relaxing weekend to recharge the energies for the next week.
Yeah. So 5 o'clock for you, you're already in the water. 5 in the morning.
Yeah, 5:10. When other people snooze and they then complain that the day is too short. No, I'm an early riser, and if I'm not early in the pool, I'm early at work. I love the morning hours. I'm a morning person. I love the mornings. Okay, and that's where I get most of the productivity done. And the modern game, the other thing why I think I can manage is because I'm a firm believer that the power of the team is significantly more important than an individual. So both in the federation as well as in the Cymot organization, I believe extremely in the team spirit. So I foster on team culture. and making sure that you as a collective reach that common goal. And it's not only one individual, because then otherwise it's not sustainable.
Okay, so yeah, Axel, as I was saying, if we have to talk about, you said you get busy, wake up early in the morning, 5:10, you're already in the swimming pool. How does a regular Saturday look for you?
A classical Saturday, if it's not work related or otherwise travel, you will find me on my bicycle 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. In a time now when you do need to train 2 through 3 hours, I do put in the cycle before my children wake up. And then breakfast at about 11 o'clock is for me sacred. Relaxing breakfast, cell phones off, spend time with the family, relax. And then afterwards the normal activities have to happen, either shopping or the routine activities, or in the worst case working, which also happens over the weekends quite frequently.
I like the part where phones are switched off and it's just family time for that moment. I mean, it's through this busy days that you do have, it's very important for you to just make sure that you have that hour, 2 hours to just reset and get back to normal. But yeah, another question, this is probably one of the last questions that we'll be asking Axel, is for the year, what can we expect from Axel Theissen? Like, where can we be seeing you taking part in competitions? Like you said, you see yourself taking part in competitions internationally just as a hobby in your own age category. So yeah, what can we expect from you this year?
So the first one is now Nedbank Cycle Challenge. This coming weekend. Then first weekend in March is the Oornop swim, Point Break Oornop swim. We'll in all likelihood be doing the 5 kilometer on a Saturday and then the 2 kilometer on a Sunday, where other people will say you're crazy, and they're not too wrong. And then
I'm one of them.
A weekend later, the Cape Town cycle to 110 kilometers in Cape Town, and then end of April, Croatia Epic. It's called Four Islands Epic. It starts. We will fly to Zagreb. And then from there on, take the mountain bikes along, and it's a 4-day mountain bike race, also organized by the Epic organizers. And I've done the Swiss Epic last year, 2023 and 2022. So now this year, the Croatia Epic is most probably the iconic event. And then later on in the year, that's basically my sporting achievements. There's Ride for Rhinos, RMB Ride for Rhinos happening in June. Most probably be participating there. And then towards the second half of the year, the biggest challenge or biggest task in my personal life is the Cymot Hilltop venture. Cymot as an organization or as a group is reinvesting its profits in Namibia, have appointed Namibian contractors as well to build that new iconic store. And I can already tell you that it'll be one of the nicest shopping experiences Windhoek has seen and Namibia has seen. We really want to raise the bar and give something back. So it'll be an exciting, and with the premises directly next to Grove Mall, making use of the same parking area, plus having our own parking area and fully secure and with access roads. So our cycle workshop will also move there from the Windhoek CBD into Grove Mall precinct. So I'm hugely excited, because then on the 17th of October, as you said, Axel organizes everything to perfection. On the 17th of October, we want to have the official opening and then be ready for Christmas 2024. And that's the year ahead for me.
Sure. Like I said, I told you, I said it. I mean, I couldn't be more right than I was. This man, I really never, to be honest, I take so much motivation from you, because since our last incident, and every other time that I've encountered you, you were just so to the date, June, July, we're doing this, August. Are you taking part in the Nedbank Desert Dash?
I will be doing it, yes, because it is the 20th anniversary of the Nedbank Desert Dash this year.
Yeah.
And they last year introduced the over 50 category, which is a half dash.
Okay.
Which is the only medal which I don't have in my collection so far, because the organizers are actually cutting the medal up in half. If you do half the distance, you get half the medal. And I find this is a super idea. It gives a new dynamic to that wonderful race.
That's a wonderful idea, actually.
I'll be doing it this year. I will not be there supporting our teams, because in the past few years I've been doing the team support. This year you will see me in the saddle.
Okay, so you'll be doing the half dash for the half medal.
Half medal, yeah.
Okay, I think I don't want to talk too soon about Nedbank Desert Dash. I think the Desert Dash is a bit much for me. But yeah, hearing about everything that Axel is doing is crazy. It gives me a headache just thinking of everything. It's not normal. It's not something a normal person would do.
You're starting this Sunday with the 30 kilometers. So Desert Dash is only 390, so
390 only. Yeah, so, yeah, but Axel Theissen, so a date for everyone to remember is the 17th of October, hopefully, or we decided that that's the date.
I sincerely hope. There's a lot of variables still to be to be tended to. But the 17th of October, the new Cymot Hilltop branch will be opening, and it's a flagship store, beautiful finishes, new product ranges, and we are trying to give back to the Namibian customer and be a very proud Namibian-owned company.
Okay, so you guys are hearing from the man himself. It's not he said, she said. We heard it from Axel Theissen himself, so we can definitely be looking forward to that. Theissen, Axel, before we do let you leave on this one, we know we have this culture where we always ask our guest on the show to just give out a message to the youth. Sadly, we had our president passengers the other day. So speaking of a message that you would send out to the youth, people that are watching at home, young kids that are watching who inspire or who want to be cyclists in the future, what message do you have for them to keep pushing and to make sure they become the best of what they can be?
Yeah, condolences to Madam Gaingos, who I also know personally. It's a very sad news which shocked us all yesterday, and I think the entire nation is in mourning. We see that there as well, and with reason, because we've really lost a true political hero. But to answer your question in terms of what can I say to the youngsters, nowadays with WhatsApp and Instagram and all the other noise which is out there, it's nice to see that there's a group of cyclists who dedicate their life to the sport, and they must never ever give up. There's a lot of challenges, and even when you fall, I always say, fall forward, at least you keep the momentum going forward. Stand up, and cycling is a sport which is dangerous. People do fall. But at the end of the day, if they keep on pushing, take Vera Rosa as a prime example. She was under 18 athlete champion in Namibia. Then there was a time where she got second and third repetitively, and she never gave up, continued to train. So at the age of 30, she's at the prime of her life. So in cycling, you can reach to the stars, but believe in yourself and don't let these small obstacles or detractions that do happen either in sport or in real life let you deviate from your real target. Focus on what you achieve, and if you believe in it, you can do it.
I don't think I would ask for anything better. I think it's probably the best message you guys could have gotten from the most organized person in the world I know. But with that being said, Axel, thank you for your time. Thank you for having us here at your lovely residence. This was definitely an episode that we did need on the show. So I'm really happy that we did get to have you on the show. So, but from us, Athletes World, we'll be back with another banger episode. We just made sure to bring you Axel Theissen first before we do move on to the next. But from me, Brian Munango, and Axel Theissen, it is adios.
Adios.
With that, we cross over to Ari Hougaard as he brings us international sports news. And that, of course, will close today's show. But we will be back again tomorrow, same place, same time.
Good day, everyone. Time for international sports news. Starting off with tennis news first. It's the Qatar Open being played. WTA, it's a women's thousands tournament. And the big news there is number 2 seed and number 4 seed is out in the second round. Firstly, number 2 seed, it's Coco Gauff, the 19-year-old from America. She suffered a shock defeat in the second round. She lost to Katarina Siakokova, and she lost by 6-2 and 6-4. And also it is Ons Jabeur of Tunisia, also out in the second round. She lost to Lesia Turenko. She's from the Ukraine, and the score there was 6-3 and 6-2. It was a better result for Naomi Osaka. She's unseeded, and she's a 4-time major winner, and she's through to the last 16. She beat Petra Matic, and the score there was 6-3 and 7-6, and it is Matic that is from Croatia. And continuing international sports news with soccer news, that is Champions League soccer news. Two of the favourites, it is Manchester City and Real Madrid. Both won their first leg games in the round of 16. Firstly, it was Manchester City. They played away to FC Copenhagen, and they won that game by 3-1. And it was Kevin De Bruyne that scored first in the 10th minute for Manchester City, and then Bernardo Silva in the 45th minute just before half-time. And then in the second minute of injury time, it was in the second half Phil Foden scoring in the 92nd minute to make it a 3-1 for Manchester City in the first leg. Also, good result for Real Madrid. They had a away game to RB Leipzig, and it was a 1-0 win for them, a tough game for them. But in the end, it was Brahim Diaz that scored in the 48th minute for important win for Real Madrid in the first leg in the round of 16. And to conclude today's international sports news is cricket news. South Africa currently playing against New Zealand. That's in their second test match, a 5-day test match. So that's in Hamilton in New Zealand. And South Africa doing a lot better than the first test. They actually have a 31-run lead after the first innings. It was South Africa that batted first on day one, 242. They scored all out. That was followed by New Zealand being bowled out for 211. Great performance by South African bowlers. Dane Pete, he's a spin bowler, and he took 5 wickets for 89 runs in 32.3 overs. And also Dane Patterson, he's the seam bowler, opening bowler, and he took 3 wickets for 39 runs. Earlier for South Africa, it was Ron de Swart that scored 64 runs. And then to close off, also international T20 game, West Indies that beat Australia in the third T20 game, and they beat them by 37 runs, but it's Australia that win the series by 2-1. The West Indies batting first, 220 for 6, and it was Andre Russell that scored 71 runs off just 29 deliveries. And then Australia could only reply with 183 for the loss of 5 wickets. So it's the West Indies winning the game by 37 runs, but Australia winning the 3-game series by 2-1. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.